Welcome back to All in the Game, everyone. My name is Reginald Johnson. I am your host, and with me I have Rodney Archer. He is the CEO of Family Inc. and Family Wealth Group. Thank you for joining, Rodney.
Yes, thanks for having me, Reginald. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Yes. And Rodney, today we're going to discuss finances. Is that correct? Finances
That's
and our.
correct.
So, in All in the Game fashion, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Okay, no problem. Appreciate that. Yeah, so again, Rodney Archer. I like to address myself as a community organizer and a wealth strategist. And so, of course, we have other accolades and things like that. But, I like to say, hey, I'm just a messenger, with a mission. And so we're just here to get everyone literally on the same accord and moving, together basically in their finances and in their businesses so everyone can win and can win more and win faster.
Right. No, that's great, Rodney. And like I said again, thank you for joining. So tell me about your background with the Family Wealth Group.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. So actually, it's a hodgepodge, background in terms of going to Auburn University for the School of Architecture, and then basically not necessarily practicing architecture when I came out, but got into retail management for roughly about 14 years, and then got into basically financial services as far as health insurance, and then mortgages, and then basically life insurance, and begin to see some debt elimination tools, credit restoration tools, and just after 2010, I really wanted to understand what in the world are the 5% doing that 95% of America is not doing. And I hate to say that came after two failed marriages where there was struggle. There was struggle in the households in regards to finances, and it didn't make any sense, right? I mean, to have two of us, working and bringing in income, and then squabbling over money, or cannot, get into an agreement. And so after that second marriage, man, I just reduced my expenses, and I really wanted to know, what is the 5% doing, and what is it that they're hiding from us? Why was financial education and literacy not in our schools? And then certainly in practice, being in the mortgage business and things. Matter of fact, 2010, there was the $8,000 tax credit. And I was like doing this, Reginald. I was like, oh man, I'm about to have a great season, right? Man, don't you know that less than 10 people, I was only able to help less than 10 people after 100 people came to the table. And they came like they was ready, like, okay, hey, what we doing? And I'm
Mhm.
like, no, your credit jacked up, right? You don't have steady income, steady, steady place of residence, and just all types of things. And I didn't know where to send them, right?
Yeah.
Because they had to be ready. They couldn't be getting ready, but I had nowhere to send them to even get ready. And after working in the mortgage business, seeing basically cardiologists making $10,000, a month, or I'm sorry, $800,000 a year, and having less than $1 million in net assets and things. I just saw that people were broke on a whole nother level,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is crazy. What is going on? And so I really wanted to know the bottom line of all of that. So I began to shift from home buying seminars to owning everything seminars, and
Hmm.
teaching on credit and cash flow and capital and contributions and things like that. And that's really what sparked that journey. So December the 10th, 2010 is when I began to embark on the Owning Everything brand, owningeverything.com. And then
Yeah.
that slowly evolved to Family Wealth Incorporated, for which we incorporated in April of 2018, and then Family Wealth Group, April of 2020. So, so long journey, but it had to be done because, from my perspective, if I was struggling and really wanted to know more, I knew that the American people really wanted to know more, and they deserve more, in terms of pursuing and achieving, their financial goals and dreams.
Right. No, that's very good. That's a journey, but you took the journey and you're still on the journey because as it relates to finances, it never stops. You have to either keep evolving, to keep moving forward, to keep getting better and better. And the great thing that you're doing is you're taking the journey, but you're pulling other people along with you for the program. What's one of the ways you're helping to do that? Bring people along for the journey so they will be financially stable and independent.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, listen, it's important that, when we build things, that we build it to scale, we build it to last. I mean, certainly we worked for these corporations and we've worked in different departments and we've helped these companies get, filthy rich. And unfortunately, we've had very little, certainly equity or profit sharing, or, these days there's no pensions and things. So a lot of times we're left out. And so I really wanted to, build something that was going to be of scale and that would allow us to serve the masses. Our vision is to change the financial landscape for millions of people. And so I knew that with such a large vision that I had to have teammates. I had to have people come alongside me. And so, it makes no sense to be a CEO and then basically there's not a CIO and there's not a COO. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there has to be other corporate executives coming alongside that can see the vision and that can, carry the weight and carry the responsibility. And so, so that was one thing in terms of having some executives coming alongside in the different companies that we have, and
Mhm.
then furthermore bringing the community and letting them be involved. And so we have what we call wealth ambassadors, and wealth ambassadors are individuals that help us to really market our events, get our flyers out there, make phone calls, invite people to our different events and things like that. And then we have our wealth strategists, which are insurance agents that are also licensed in perhaps other areas, right? They may be
Yeah.
realtors, they may be loan brokers or CPAs, accountants, or whatever the case may be. But they're used to consulting, right? They're used to serving people, finding out their needs, and then filling those needs with products and services. So we have wealth strategists. We have basically strategic partners. These are individuals like yourself, who have your brand, have your platform and things, and we're saying, hey, let's collaborate, let's partner up, let's get the message out there in a more grand way, or let's extend our service offerings. So again, we're not loan officers today, so we connect with loan brokers and realtors and other people that can extend our service offering, that operate in excellence and still can deliver basically that expectation that we deliver. So they're like an extension of us. So those are strategic partners. And so and then we call everyone in our wealth building community, we call them wealth builders.
Yeah.
And so it's time that we stop just working for money, but that we make money work for us, and that we make life a little bit easier for us, and we transfer that knowledge and that skill set onto our children and our children's children.
No, that's great. I like the community feel of it. I like the collaboration. That's also key. And the network is great. Whenever you in poverty or trying to get out of poverty, you need a network of people who are going to help you push you along, help you grow, and continue to help you get better each day. So that's great. As you talk about the 5%, what they're doing, they what are they doing that the rest of the 95% are not doing, Rodney?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I mean, everything is based on teams, it's based on systems, and it's based on building, right? It's based on building it. I would say leverage of OPS, other people's systems, OPM, other people manpower, OPM, other people money, right? I mean, those are key because we don't have to build everything from scratch, right?
Right.
We can see what's existing and then we can build upon it, and that's exactly what we're doing. With basically several things, several tools that are in the marketplace that's been out here and not fully utilized for what they are. And so we see an opportunity to build upon them to do something grander, do something, greater for, our community. So that's one thing, leverage, right? That has to happen because without it, then we're moving too slow, and it really it requires too much capital otherwise,
Yeah,
to try to build everything from scratch. Does that make sense?
it does. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one big piece. Certainly systems. I mean, we got to think in terms of the acronym system, which is save yourself time, energy, and money.
Mhm.
Everything's a system, and
That's a
so
great.
I'm sorry.
That's great. Yeah, system. I like the
System.
acronym.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so we have to understand processes and procedures and building things to scale and infrastructure and things for capacity and all of that because that's how we're going to serve the masses. And without systems, unfortunately, if we're doing the mom and pop, type of business and so forth, and we're just hands on only, then got unfortunately, if we get sick and die, then and then those businesses that we've been building, guess what? They get sick and die with us,
That's right.
right? So we have to build systems that are going to outlast us and that are going to outrun us in our lifetime and that can go beyond us so that they can continue to serve the people for which, we had in mind.
No, that's great. So basically, what one thing the program is teaching and giving people is being able to think more along the line of legacy, being able to leave a legacy behind for people.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, in our community, we believe that it's time that we immerse everyone into literally the language of finance and business. They go hand in hand, right? It's not one or the other. And people sometimes say, well, you're trying to do too many things. I say, well, look, we have the capacity to handle all of these concepts, but because to be honest with you, we've lost a lot of time, right? And so I say it this way, if we're going to learn a new language, then you have two options. You can get buy Rosetta Stone, right,
Mhm.
Babel or something like that, and learn the language, or you can be immersed in the culture, right,
Yeah,
of where the language is taught. And so, Reginald, I mean, which way will you learn that language faster? Being immersed or just buying the program?
yeah. For me, I had to be immersed in it. I had to hear it every day. I had to feel it. I had to see how they're looking, their body language, the gestures. So I learned better that way, being immersed in the culture.
Yeah, and so that's exactly what we're doing here at Family Wealth, and having our wealth building community is that we talk finance and business every day, and then we're immersing people into systems, into processes, into businesses that we're creating that is not in competition with what people are doing. We're an underbelly. We're an underlying program for everyone in terms of what they desire to do in business and what they desire to do in their personal finance.
Mhm.
But in order for us to really play catch up in terms of not, again, having this information in our schools, we're saying, look, we got to combine education, coaching, and training. We got to bring it all together. It's not enough to just have information as far as, compound interest or right? Saving or debt elimination as far as concepts. We have to literally be attached to the tools and understand how to utilize those tools alongside of the concepts so that we can get it done and then be held accountable so that the very thing that we say we want to do, we got somebody, in our face saying, you said it, so let's go.
Yeah, you're right. No, I like in basketball, we have the triple threat. When you get the ball, the fundamentals, either you can dribble it, pass it, or shoot. So that's fundamentals of basketball when you first get it, one of them. So with the education, coaching, and training, that's also a fundamental, and it's also continuing also because once you get the education, the coaching, and the training, it's like a circle. They can keep going on and on again. It's continuous. And that process that you have set up sounds like a great way to help people build wealth, to gain experience, and to gain knowledge, and to kind of do it do it as their as they're doing the work, they also getting constant coaching and communication, and they're getting trained to continue to do it. So that's very good. That's a very good concept that's to put in place. Any other
Yes.
any other any other keys that you may have that you want to share that you didn't touch on?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, the whole point of everything is that we're moving the people towards what we call a group vision.
Yes.
Even Dr. King said, if you're going to move people, you got to move them towards vision, right? And so we got to have a clear destination in terms of where we're going. What's the point of all of this information? What's the point of coaching and training? What's the point,
Yeah.
right? And so when we talk about a group vision, we're talking about literally mastering what we call 5 money skill sets. And
Okay.
so these are absolute. These are things that were missing that we should have been taught, and it should have been at the kitchen table. But hey, we can't blame our parents. They didn't know, right?
Mhm.
Shoot, well, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no mentors and things. I had to reach out and find out this information. It took 7 years, Reginald, just to go through 100 books on finance, business, and economics to find out what in the world, how does all of this stuff really work, right? And so out of that, we derive out of the 5 money systems that exist that the elite use, basically for leverage against us, which is credit, cash flow, business, banking, and investments,
Yeah.
right? So out of those money systems, which move money, make money, and they leverage time, energy, and resources of other people, that's what the elite do, right? We said, okay, cool. We ain't mad at you. Y'all some brilliant jokers. Y'all brilliant, right? We ain't mad at you, but we're gonna counter now, and so that we're not being taken advantage of, but we're going to flip it to take advantage of the systems that you put out there, right?
Yeah.
So we found that these 5 money skill sets that are absolute is number one is mastering passive income of $24,000 or more. Master
Okay.
24,000, then 48,000, and then 96,000. And the name of the game is replace earned income. Do you agree with that, Red?
Oh yeah, yeah, I do agree with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about it, right? I mean, we work so hard as far as exchanging dollars for hours or commissions for service, but guess what? There's limitations, right? And then oftentimes, we have someone dictating as to what our value is, and from one job, one career to the next. And to be honest, I mean, wages have been stagnant over the last, 20 years. So that system of things, that method of things, it's unfortunately putting us behind. So we have to have that new skill set so that we can pay our bills easier and we can have surplus so that we can invest, pay off debt and things like that. Would you agree?
Yes.
So the second one is 700 plus credit scores. Now, we don't use credit for debt. We use it for leverage. Now, this is key because, again, a lot of times we'll get our credit scores up to 700 or what have you, and we'll get the house, we'll get the car, or get the credit cards, and we think we've arrived.
Yeah, we get happy when we hit that 700 number, and then we go back to doing the things that got us into that situation and start spending more money.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we because we're not getting a whole picture, right? So we got to complete the whole cycle, and that's what's not being taught out here. We got to understand credit is not for getting in debt. Credit is for two purposes. One is to have celebrity perks. That's why the American Express stresses, paying everything off in 30 days, okay? Because hey, yeah, we're going to use it for the frequent flyer miles, hotel rewards, cashback rewards. We're going to use it for that, but then we're going to pay that stuff off based on the monies that we already have in the bank,
Mhm.
right? And not get caught up after 30 days, in terms of just paying on something that either we've already consumed or thrown away, or it's obsolete that we're not no longer using, and all of that. You follow? And
Yes.
and then the second is a greater return on investment, right? We got to use credit for leverage in the intents of, getting a greater return on whatever it is that we invested in, and using the credit that way, right? So again, we got to learn the proper use of it. So that's the second. The third is acquiring and owning real estate. Roger, we gotta work and live somewhere,
Yeah.
right? We say,
Yeah.
why not own where you work and live? Again, we're here to literally close the loop. We're not talking about just buying or acquiring the real estate and then, celebrating that as though we've arrived. We're not done yet, right? Now, it certainly is worth celebration and worth recognition. And so we're not going to belittle the accomplishment. However, guess what? There's two more components to it, which is, basically owning the home free and clear as fast as possible, right? And then leveraging the equity. There's that word again, leverage, 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 leveraging the equity in the home for building wealth.
So
Does that make
leverage,
sense?
that's pretty much a key, right? That's one of the keys, being able to leverage.
It's leverage is key, right? And then the fourth one is debt elimination, and basically 10 years or less. Mortgages, car loans, credit cards, student loans. That has to be a standard, right? Now, I wasn't the first one to say it. Don't let me pull out scripture on you. But
Right,
Deuteronomy 15, it says, look, at the end of 7 years, it said, cancel all debt with your neighbor so that ultimately you may be open-handed to the needy. So if all of our needs are met, then we have nothing left to do in the rest of our life is to meet the needs of others, right?
right. That goes that word community again.
Community, exactly. And then lastly is equity and assets. So equity, of course, again, is having ownership interest, right, inside of cash value insurance, inside of real estate, inside of stocks and bonds, inside of businesses, right? Assets are things that have, intrinsic, lasting, or growing value, right? So equity and assets of $200,000 or more, with $1 million being, lifetime goal. So those five, as you can see, they are, they're measurable, they're trackable, and they're achievable,
Right.
right? And so when you think about those five, I mean, how different, and you may already be there, but how different would life be if instantaneously you had all five today?
No, it'll be, if you had one or two, it'll be different, most people. But to have all five, it would be a drastic different for a lot of people.
Exactly, exactly. So this is the lifestyle. This is what we call the new American dream. Come on, man. The new American dream. And matter of fact, we expect it within 5 years to be on Oprah Winfrey Show, with several of our leaders achieving five-star success. We want to actually take over the whole audience on
That's
that occasion.
yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
so tell me about the approach, Rodney, to reach five.
Yes, great, great. So of course, the hardest of all five is passive income,
Okay.
right? That's
That's 24.
what's that?
That's the 24, first off.
Yeah, $24,000 or more, right? So that's the hardest in terms of, okay, how do you do it? Now we know most people they gravitate towards network marketing and real estate.
Yeah,
Would you agree with those two?
yeah, they do.
Okay. Now, the only problem with that is that with network marketing, unfortunately, you have over 97% of the people that are endeavor in that space. Unfortunately, they fail. They do not succeed. They do not get what they're there for.
So
Okay.
94% of the people who are in network marketing, you say they fail?
Over 97%.
97. Yeah, because when I see network marketing, I've gone to a lot of different events for network marketing. So it seems like they're making money, but only 90, oh, you said 97% of people fail. That means 3% are what doing what the program set out to do. That's less than that 5% we talked about earlier. How is that
Yes,
so,
sir.
Rod?
What's that?
How is that so? Why only 3% of people in network marketing are succeeding, and the rest of the 97%, why are they not reaching those goals?
Well, I mean, it takes a lot of definitely a lot of discipline, a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of personal development, I mean, you really got to have a lot of skill set, right? I mean, you got to be able to literally work with people, have those interpersonal skills. You got to have time management skills,
Yes,
right? You got to be charismatic. You got to be able to, share ideas and influence people. I mean, there's a lot of skill sets that most people, again, we are only taught to really work for these corporations and use one skill,
that's right.
right? One skill. So then when we talk about getting into that space and now all of a sudden a person has to learn all these skill sets, they don't have the necessarily discipline or the wherewithal to undergo the process.
Okay, the process. Yeah, there goes that
Right?
word. 1 second. That's the key. The process.
Process. It's process. So that's the reason why most people fall short. And of course, everyone tries to run in real estate and things, and don't get it fooled. I mean, yeah, there's people that make money in real estate, but again, the majority are not,
Yeah,
right? Making money in real estate. So we have to say, okay, well, how do we help these people, create this passive income that they desperately need to have?
that's right.
So, from a family wealth perspective, we said, okay, let's attack the problem. So basically, being that I'm a financial systems architect, okay, it's funny, I said I started in architecture, right? Didn't necessarily practice, but then, God kind of had a grander plan for me where I was able to use the construct of architecture, the idea of design in terms of, assessing what's in the marketplace or not in the marketplace and creating that which needs to be either better, faster, or cheaper,
Yeah.
right? And so we saw this scenario and said, okay, what about if we create a hybrid of network marketing and corporate America?
Okay.
Okay, and so what we mean by that is that instead of corporate, hey, you got capped income again, someone determining what your value is, right?
Yeah.
However, you're coming in with certain roles, responsibilities, and course recognition and rewards. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so it has its pluses, the minuses, again, is capped income on the corporate side. On the network marketing side, basically, the whole program, it runs based on products being sold, being promoted based on the volume, right? And then sharing in the profits, right?
Yeah. That's
So we
right.
say, okay, all right, cool. But we got to increase the success rate of the people. And so we say, okay, let's have a hybrid. Let's have the best of both of these models that have been in the marketplace for a number of years, right?
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've split up basically the task, if you will. So that's why we have wealth ambassadors, and we're saying, listen, we only need you to be good at marketing, get good at social media, get good at building your fan base, get good at getting our message out there, talking to people, via the phone and so forth, and driving them to our events. You don't have to sell anything. Don't sell nothing. Don't sell no products, no services. When you put our message out there, it's all about community, right? There's no products and services being offered. Does that make sense?
So it's all about community. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
all
that's
about community.
yeah.
So that is what we're teaching our wealth ambassadors to do. It's all about community. Don't talk about nothing else. And so because we know that we all really want community, we really want that, just like we want family, right? There may be some disruption and dysfunctional families out there, but we really want that, right? We want a cohesive family, and we really want the idea of community. We just don't know what it looks like outside of church or outside of a fraternity or sorority or outside of being on a board member of some kind of organization, right?
Yeah. You want to be that community. You want a sense of belonging. You want to be able to belong to something with
Exactly.
your vision in yourself. So yeah, no, I'll definitely agree with that, Rodney.
Yeah, yeah. So we have one group, our wealth ambassadors. So they put our message out there, market our message on about community. And then we have our wealth strategists who, again, they love consulting, they love meeting with people, they love presenting information, ideas, and things like that. So we teach them, hey, let's find out what the pain points of the people are. Let's find out what their unmet financial goals are. And then let's make sure that you're equipped with all of the tools and strategies and all of these types of things. And so that you may, present what those are for, the purpose of meeting the needs of the people. And
Yeah.
so we say, okay, wealth ambassadors, now we want you to be merchants, not only consumers, we want you to be merchants. In other words, lined up with the same products and services that are being sold from our wealth strategists.
Yeah.
So when our wealth strategists basically sell these particular products and services, guess what? The profits are shared with the wealth ambassadors.
So the profits are shared with the wealth ambassadors. Whenever the product is, when the strategist sells, the wealth ambassadors also receive some of the benefits.
That's correct. So with that arrangement, we now have people in their roles and in their responsibilities, right, that they're most comfortable with.
Yes. Roles, responsibilities, people, and processes. So you're putting people in a position so they can win, and not, I guess, highlighting, making sure they're aligned with their strengths and what they're great at, other than doing something just because the role needs to be filled. So that's a great strategy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so it's already working, and so from that we call it the jet. The concept is called the jet. Basically accelerating, speeding towards your financial goals. And so the idea again is this reciprocal system, reciprocal, right? Give and it shall be given unto you, reciprocal, right?
Yes.
It creates active, passive, and residual income. So that's the first thing that has to be tackled, right? And so we're presenting different programs. We have another program coming up. We're still pre-launch, and then we'll be launching probably before the end of the month. And we're working with the whole Bitcoin platform and things like that. And again, we're here to help people create additional income, or in this case, Bitcoin, streams, so that they may have again more access to resources to get more done.
No, that's great. That's great, Rodney. This sounds like a very exciting program. How would, if someone wants to get involved, how would they get involved, or get tied into the program? What would they need to do? Who would they contact?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I have been talking about, about different concepts in our program, but basically we, launched the Fit Club, January the 18th, where, we again combine all of these components. We bring all the pieces together, right? Where it's seamless, where, again, a person is really learning about all of this business and finance simultaneously, right? And being done in a way that's very comfortable for them, like you said, based on their skill set and their expertise and their comfortability. So listen, familywealthfitclub.com, and so we lay out the program there. We teach and train in 90-day increments, and so we have 90-day challenges, right? Matter of fact, we're in the first challenge, which is dealing with the credit restoration and credit building, right?
Yes.
And so we're moving people towards that 700 plus scores and so forth. I even have my son, a 20-year-old in the Navy, and he's just coming out the gate, right? And
Yes.
so I'm showing him literally how to do it right, in terms of establishes, his credit and credit cards and things like that, and how to keep those balances. Matter of fact, don't even keep a balance, just basically pay it off in the same month and so forth. And so we look forward to, those results at the end of 90 days. And then the second 90 days is debt elimination, rapid debt elimination. So we got to get people, thinking more, having a sense of urgency that the debt has to go. It's in the way of wealth building. Does
That's
that make
right.
sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yep. So that's over 90-day. And then, of course, the saving and wealth building. And so, measuring that so that we're doing more in that space. And then, of course, the income aspect as far as passive income. So we have those four 90-day quadrants throughout the year.
So 4 quarters, just like in sports, all in the game. That's great. So the first 90 days, you have to win that quarter. Next 90 days, you need to win that quarter. And so that's the second quarter. The third 90 days, that's third quarter. You need to win that quarter. And in the fourth quarter, once you win every quarter, then the fourth quarter, you have to win that one also. So that's a great concept to break it down. And it's also being measured and tracked. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly, exactly. So a wealth strategist, takes, intake the information and then basically set up recurring check-in points at that, basically at that 90-day or 3 months, right, 3 month, uh, um, 3 month, well, pretty much 3 months, 6 month, 9 month, 12-month period.
Yeah. So it's broken down in increments. So you won't feel like you have to do everything all at once or in the whole year. It'll be broken down. So that's good. 30, 30, 30. So you got the 90 days, which is one quarter. And then you move on to the next quarter and you learn something different. But you also have education, coaching, and training that you can pull from also. Is that correct, Rodney?
Yep, that's correct. That's correct. And then we insert some other components in there in terms of the basics, budgeting and saving, right? Basically, wills and living trusts and things like that. So we sprinkle some other components inside of it. Same with insurance and understanding, cash value insurance versus term, and just making sure that we ensure that the families are covered. Holistically, right? That we're not just, focused on any one area, but that, everyone understands that it really takes all the pieces, your offensive play, your defensive play, everything has to be in order for us to win the game.
Yeah. No, it sounds like the program, you have a great short game, you have a great long game. Breaking it up in small pieces, but understanding what the vision is at play so you'll know why you're doing what you're doing. And it's tracked, measurable, so, and it can be easily replicated amongst people. So now that's great, Rodney.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean, it's about again systematically moving masses of people through a process. The idea of well, everybody got their goals and yeah, they do. But from all my time in the industry, I've learned, uh, Reginald, that we really all want the same thing,
Right.
right? There really is a common denominator. We want more time. We want more resources. We want to be able to pursue, our goals and dreams. I mean, we all want that. Would you agree?
Yes, we do. Yeah, most of
Yeah,
us want the same things.
yeah, it's a common denominator. And then when it comes to, finances or, our goals and dreams there, really, yeah, we hear the same thing over and over again. I want to save more, want to prepare for retirement, want to get the kids jump started for college, want to, build credit, want to eliminate debt. I mean, we hear the same things, right, over and over again, because again, we all want the same things. So we have now really all the tools that are available, and we're saying, look, we got to stop being just consumers and allowing even financial services and realtors and anyone else, right, just selling us stuff, and then we not be the merchants. And so in our community, we're saying, look, not only do our members use the products and the services, but they're merchants of the same products and services, so
Right.
that again, that active passive residual income could occur.
No, that's great, Rodney. And thank you again for sharing. Let me just This has been a very great program that you mentioned. You gave everyone an overview from. What are the next steps for the program after they go through it?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, again, everyone's assigned a wealth strategist, and what we do is we have everyone do a financial worksheet. So we really want to find out, okay, what is your income, what are your expenses? That's called an income statement, right? And then the second tab is basically the what is called a balance sheet in terms of assets and liabilities, what you own versus what you owe. And then the third basically populates automatically in terms of discretionary income and the net worth. And so we want to know where's the money at, right? Where's the money at? Are there any bad habits, anything that needs to be kind of cleared up and things like that. So we do that. And then we have sessions from our super coaches. And again, these are members of our community. They're business owners, right? They're, professionals in their own right. And they say, hey, man, listen, we want to help. We want to teach. We want to definitely assist, with what you're doing. And so we have typically 2 sessions per month. And so we have one coming up here. And by the time this recording, we will be looking at the last one, which I'll be doing, which is engaging the tools. And so we'll be showing people how to engage again the budgeting and the saving and credit restoration, debt elimination tools, and so forth. So we
Yeah.
want people to engage in the process there. And then in March, we have 2 of our super coaches speaking. Pastor Lateef out of Syracuse, New York, and he'll be talking from a biblical precepts standpoint in regards to credit restoration. And then also Mr. Trey Davis, who is the boss. He's the CEO of the Boss Systems in regards to credit restoration and credit building. And so he's going to be coming on and sharing in the month of March. So we just got a great lineup really all throughout the year. These different super coaches, like I said, will be definitely jumping in and sharing information, to assist our growing community.
No, this has been great, Rodney. I want to thank you on behalf of all in the game again for joining us, giving us this financial knowledge so that we can all win together and that everyone can be in the game. But not only be in the game, they can win in the game of financial wealth and security. Thank
Yes,
you.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be on. Appreciate you inviting me. Same.